Well, and is that where Billy stabbed you in the leg with a fork, Kelly, at the dinner table?
No,
It
we were at
started
the
at the
dinner
dinner
table.
table.
You two were sitting on the
I feel
bench.
like you were at the dinner table. I
We're
don't
sitting
know.
on the bench fighting over the fork. Yeah, because I think I was sitting next to you and you two were fighting, and all I heard was you screaming because the fork went in your thigh. I mean, you
Did
saw the
you have
prongs
to,
on her
like
legs.
Yeah.
enough that I have a scar?
6Ks and a mic. We're done being quiet, breaking all the rules, starting up a riot. Raw and real, no scripts to read. This is the honesty that women need.
Welcome back to 6Ks and a Mic, a podcast about 6 natural-born sisters from 3 different generations, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. And we have all experienced life just a little bit different. And we have navigated through some things together, and that's what we are here to share with you, our listeners. Before we get started today, I do want to acknowledge that there's been a little lapse in time between our last episode, and I want to bring you up to speed on a couple things. First of all, a very happy birthday to our sister Carrie. Happy birthday, Carrie.
Thank you.
Today is her actual birthday, so we appreciate her giving some time to be here with us. But also wanted to share that at the end of our last episode, we typically stay on with one another when the episode ends and we just talk and catch up with one another. And while we were doing that, my sister Kathie unfortunately got some pretty devastating news for her family that her brother-in-law had suddenly passed away. And not only was he a brother-in-law, but her husband's twin brother. So that definitely put her family in a tailspin, and they needed some time to process that. So that contributed to our lapse in episodes. And Kath, our prayers continue to go out to you and your family as you guys navigate your new norm or just try to pick up the pieces and move on. The other thing that happened is we've had some technical difficulties and we're trying to work through those as well. And as you can tell, we have Katie and Carrie coming to you together today to try to help navigate some of those technical difficulties. So thanks, Kate, for hosting Carrie at your place.
No problem.
So, for today, our episode is going to be dedicated to you, our listeners and our viewers. We are receiving some incredible feedback from you guys. As a matter of fact, it was great to see that you missed us when we were gone for a couple weeks. Chris was sharing some of the posts that she saw, and you're like, "Where are you guys?" Well, luckily, we are back. But we want you to know that we do read your feedback and your comments. And there are some really incredible comments, and these aren't just comments that are saying, hey, well done, nice job, keep it going. These are comments that let us know that you're actually pulling up a chair next to our table and sharing in our discussions. And we felt like we needed to address that and take some time to talk about those. So that's what our episode today is going to be dedicated to. And we're going to start with some of the lighter comments. So let's talk about the dinner table, everybody. One of the comments that we got was, I always loved eating over at my friend's house for supper because there were 5 kids and it was so loud. Now, our viewers, listeners may say 5. I thought there were 7 of you. Well, for a long period of time, there were only 5 of us. So let's talk about the dinner table. What are your memories about the dinner table and what that was like growing up in our household?
Well, I do remember, like, having 5 people in the household, it was pretty chaotic. But I think what I remember about that now, besides the craziness of it, is it's the one time where we all came to the dinner table. And, we were all together and for whatever happened at the dinner, it's just one collective time that everybody was together. Chaos or not, it was, that was pretty cool now that I think back at it at my age now.
I don't know
Yeah.
how it was for you guys, but, like, it was the expectation that you were at the dinner table. Like, there
Oh,
was
yeah.
no, like, if you were out, you were coming in for dinner.
Yep.
So, I mean,
God bless this food, which now we take for Jesus' sake, amen. That's what I take away from the dinner table.
Which
Hey,
I
my
will
kids
have you
know
know
that
we did
now.
religiously daily while Mom was visiting, so we did not forget to say grace.
My kids do
Was
that
was
too.
that a mom prayer or a dad prayer?
I think it was
Dad.
Dad.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I suppose I could ask. But she did mention that, Kelly.
Yes.
They did say
Oh.
grace. And she wanted to know if we said it while she wasn't here. And we told her we said it every day.
Your husband's good at making sure that
Yeah.
you hold true to
Stick
that.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My grandson knows what's happening. You know, as soon as dinner starts, he knows what's happening.
And my kids know it from your house too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also remember trying to fit all of us around the dinner table, which was no easy feat.
Yeah.
We had a
Could've been.
bench that I think 2 of us sat on, and then 2 of us shared the corners of the table and 2 people on the other side, and it was a pretty full table. And if
I
I
forgot
had
about
to
the
say
bench. Didn't it sit more than 2? Like, wasn't
Yeah, I
it
think it
like
was
we'll put
3 or
3.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe there
Okay.
were 3 of us on there.
Yeah.
Did when I think about if somebody monopolized the conversations at dinner,
Oh my
I don't
God.
know, for me,
My
my brother
brother.
comes to mind, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree.
100%.
Yeah. He talked a
Well,
lot.
our topics at dinner were different.
Nothing was off the table.
And come on,
Yeah.
it was
I
fun
would
to get
say.
him going, you know, to start talking about girl things, and he'd be just like, well, I'm eating. Look.
Now, Kate, I have to say, honestly, I don't have a ton of memories of eating family dinner with you around the table because I was in college when you were born and pretty much never came back home very much after that. So, like, do you remember a large table for dinner?
No, I mean I remember us 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be
Yeah,
the
and
4 of us.
I think when we moved across the street, we came over a lot for dinner, a lot.
Yeah.
So it got a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and then remember the neighbor, Dawn would come over sometimes. The neighbor would come over she wouldn't necessarily eat over, but she was over a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that after we kind of started to move away, people still came over. And I
somehow
think
found a
that's,
way.
my friends were always excited to come to our house for dinner. Always.
Yeah, I feel like people ate over a lot. I don't know. I was such
Yeah.
a picky eater. I didn't eat a lot of the food, and I remember like dad always coming home on his lunch break to start prepping whatever we were having
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah, I just think about that. Like, so I have not had children and I don't know, like, I'm exhausted after my workday. And so I think about, just mom and dad always had dinner on the table. It didn't matter what was happening. It didn't matter that it was always, and it wasn't just dinner. It was like a meat and a vegetable and a salad and a side dish and just, kind of like his lunches. But yeah, I always think about that where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I hate just making dinner for myself, let alone a whole family.
Well, and it's funny because Genevieve came over. Genevieve's my niece, and she's kind of the youngest in my husband's family, immediate family with us. And she's come over to eat with us a couple of times. And she has said to me that she loves the fact that we all sit down together and have dinner. Because not everybody does that, either
Mhm.
work schedules or whatever keeps you from doing it,
I'd say it's been
It's
very hard for
interesting.
me. Even with our kids, I don't feel like they're used to coming together to sit down to eat. Like we're
Yeah,
just
that was a non-negotiable for us growing up, I feel like.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I was very fortunate. My kids were really good about it. And even still, they know when we're eating, they come, they chat. They used to love to sit down and eat. They
That
do,
is true. In my 20s, I did often still show up to your house for dinner.
I mean, that's
Yes,
where
you
the
do.
best conversation
Free meal.
happens is around the
Yeah,
dinner table. Honest to
yeah.
God, some of our best conversations have been at the dinner table.
Well, and
Or
I
we
think
used to
too,
play
like,
games too. Like when the kids were little, it would be, what line is this movie from? And they would have to get, and they would know all those stupid lines from stupid movies. I never won because I could never
Yeah.
remember any of them. But they used to love to play that. And even now, Louis will say, "What was your favorite animal today?" And everybody has to go around the table and tell what their favorite animal is.
That's
I
cute.
just think it's a way to wind down,
I was going to say, somebody mentioned kitchen comments, and for our at least my poor husband, I won't speak for anybody else's, but for the husbands who married into the family, sometimes husbands or partners who married into the family, sometimes sitting around the dinner table can be a bit intimidating because some of the conversations that come up might not necessarily come up in every other household's kitchen conversation or dinner conversations. So, do you guys agree with that?
oh, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yes.
And it was
Oh, for
always fun
sure.
when there was someone new in the family or a new boyfriend because we're like, woo, we get to break them in.
And to our listeners and viewers, we mean things like tampons, menopause, hormones, bras, whatever
I don't think
would
we
come
talked
up.
Toilet
about
paper.
menopause. Hell, I feel like maybe today
It
we
was,
talk
yeah.
about that, but I feel like back
It was
then that
periods,
wasn't in our
cramps.
repertoire. I do remember, was anybody there or was it just us when Dad snot rocketed at the dinner table? No? Okay.
I
So
feel like that was just that's because he would put so much pepper on his food. It was guaranteed that he would like sneeze after he took his first bite.
Well, and is that where Billy stabbed you in the leg with a fork, Kelly, at the dinner table?
Oh, well, for
No,
years
that
and
wasn't
years.
at the dinner herself, I thought.
Yes, she finally admitted she stabbed herself.
It was definitely in the kitchen, but I don't know if it was maybe
No,
it
we were at
started
the
at the
dinner
dinner
table. You two were sitting on the bench.
I feel like you were at the dinner table.
We're sitting on the bench fighting over the fork.
Yeah.
Kathie, you probably have a much better memory of it than I do.
Yeah, because I think I was sitting next to you and you two were fighting, and all I heard was you screaming because the fork went in your thigh.
I'm just like how far in the thigh
I
are
mean, it
we
was like
talking?
I mean, you
Did
saw
you
the
have
prongs
to,
on her
like-
legs.
Yeah.
Enough that I have a scar.
Mm.
Did
Yeah,
it draw
you can see
blood? Like,
fork prongs on my thigh.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
so, like,
she
did
just
you have to, like,
terrible.
She literally stabbed herself.
did you have to
Yeah,
yank
I
it
think I
out?
did. I really did.
We must have been in college, Chris.
Yeah, because I don't
'Cause
remember
I don't
that.
remember this.
It was
Yeah, I
all
don't
his
remember.
fault, though.
It was his fault. I'm
All
sure.
right.
Remember the milk on the head?
Yes. Yes. I do.
That was fun,
So,
too.
yeah, we didn't always get along, of course, growing up, 6 girls and a brother that liked to mess with us. But, like I would wear Kelly's shoes or Katie would wear my clothes or, so we'd fight about that. Kathie was trying to sell M&Ms and I ate them all for school, remember? I ate all your M&Ms and Mom yelled at you and not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that. I'm like, why did she yell at Kathie? Like, I'm the one that ate the M&Ms.
I remember that.
Yeah, but I'm sure you didn't tell her that it was you.
I don't know. But I was
don't
like,
think
all
she
right,
did.
she's not going to
Yeah.
yell at me. She's going to
Yeah.
yell at you. So I'm going to go with it.
Oh, Kimmy, we missed this. That sounded like fun.
Yeah.
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 We were
But I
busy.
think that's an interesting dynamic of us that, like, I mean, we've had kind of like a few dinner tables depending on who was at home at the
Right.
time.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
That's true.
Why did Kim pour the milk on your head?
I think she was not happy with what I was saying. What was I saying? I don't remember.
I
It
don't-
must have been
you-
like
it
being
was
a smart
it
ass.
was
I don't
some
know.
kind of tantrum kind of thing, and I was like, it was all about your hair, and your hair had to be perfect, or I can't remember exactly what it was. So I thought, all right, here.
I was like, what, like 16 or something? And then Kathie and I were fighting over the shower, and you threw me in the shower with all my clothes on. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I got mad and I ran across the street to Kim's house when she lived across the street.
Yeah, we also grew up with one bathroom with all these kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did. Holy crapola, we did.
We figured it out.
Yeah,
That's
Dad
a
kept
whole
tight
other
schedule.
Yeah,
episode,
that's like
though.
that could be a whole episode in its own.
Exactly.
It could be.
All
Or
right,
the way-
I'm going to move on to another comment. This one kind of stopped me in my tracks when I read it. It said, I am just floored that 6 siblings can get along. I grew up with 1 brother and 2 sisters. Even as children, none of us felt a close connection with each other. Today, after the division of the world around COVID-19 and the death of our last parent, I have no contact with all of them, and they rarely speak to each other. I wish it had been different, but as they say, you can't pick your family. I look forward to the next episode.
How
Wow.
sad
What do you
is
think
that?
when you hear that?
Sad.
Yeah, I guess I can't imagine anything that would keep us from connection with one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I can't imagine anything.
I don't know why that is though, because I agree. Like, I don't know, like, is it the way mom and dad instilled stuff in it? Because certainly I know families that go no contact and don't talk. Like it's not.
I think somebody always has to make an effort. And I think at different times we may step up and like step in, depending like to me it takes effort. Don't you all agree? Like there's
Yeah, for sure.
definitely
Yeah.
effort that
Well,
goes
sure,
into it.
all relationships do. I mean, sure.
But I think you have to want it, I guess. I don't know. Like to me, it's like you have to want that. And I just think tradition and family was instilled in us from like the get-go. And
Yeah.
so maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Well, and mom told me once that in her family, people used to hold grudges.
Hmm.
And she said she hated that. Like they just wouldn't speak to each other and that. And she said that was one thing she told me. She goes, I made sure my children did not do that. And I remember one time, I don't know if it was me and Kelly or me and Carrie. I was fighting with somebody, and mom was like, if I need to lock you in a room and only one comes out alive, that's what I'm going to do. So, I mean, that's just kind of how she was. It was like, you figure it out, you get along, and let's move on.
That's pretty funny though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like even like when I don't know what it is. I feel like even when people have I mean, I'm sure I can piss people off or, like it's not like we always like each other 100% of the time or we do things. I mean, I don't really feel like we argue at this point in life, but like there's been little periods of things that may have just come up here and there, but it's not I don't know.
I think
I
we're
just can't
also
imagine.
good at being like, if someone pisses us off, it's like, listen, asshole. And we take
Yeah.
care of it right then and there and we move on.
Yeah, that's true.
Although you never called me an asshole in front of my face, so I don't know.
Chris, you're never an asshole.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're
I've
not.
never heard that, so I must be doing okay.
It is weird though, because and I guess you're a product of your environment, right? But I just assumed people got along like we get along,
I agree, Kim.
It wasn't until I was older and I mean, I was dating Lou and we knew this family. We mutually knew this family and they they wouldn't talk to each other for 2 years, There'd be 2 brothers and they'd have some stupid fight and they wouldn't talk to each other for 2 years and that just blew my mind. I'm like, what could be that important that you wouldn't talk to somebody for 2 years? I just couldn't even fathom it. It was weird.
I agree.
Well, in my husband's family, it was a Tupperware bowl.
It was a what?
A Tupperware bowl.
That
Bill's
caused
mom
a
didn't
rift.
talk to her sister for like 2 years over a Tupperware bowl.
Yeah. I
Wow.
Talking
cannot-
about
I
stupid.
just bought a new one.
Right.
Well, and if you think about it too, maybe like we've gone through some things.
I was going
as
to
a
say, are we
family.
trauma bonded?
Right,
Because
like,
I feel
are
like
we
trauma
trauma bonded?
bonding does a lot for people.
That could be.
I
too.
absolutely agree with that.
I mean,
Absolutely
we
agree
definitely
with
had
that.
some traumas. So
Yeah.
and I think that gives you a perspective that you realize like just how short life is or how fragile life is. And so
Yeah, for
is it
sure.
really worth it? I just kind of like stupid argument. Even when someone irritates you, is it really worth it? Is that big of a deal?
Yeah.
Well,
For
and
sure.
I think too, like, okay, so yeah, I was just thinking in my head of the, um, and I maybe for myself, I'm trying to articulate what my head is thinking is that like, so I'm so different than you guys, And it's not like I share a lot of interest with you guys because you walk a different path than I do, but I would never ever like I'm thinking about this trauma bonding or why it is, but like it's like you're my blood family. Like you've been through life with me, like you've seen everything with me. Like I just can't imagine not having a connection with that. So, you know, it's hard to like why but I guess it makes me so sad for that person who wrote that comment because I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
like I just can't imagine not having this.
And it's weird
Yeah.
And to
too because
Katie's point, go ahead, Kath.
well, I was just gonna say I have a lot of friends. I know like Carrie's friends, Katie's friend. People always comment, "Oh, can your family adopt me? Can I be part of your family?" I don't know.
Liz
Yeah.
tried the hardest. Liz tried the
Well, Liz got the closest.
Probably came the closest. Yes, she probably came the closest. But I mean, we are all different. I think we're all
Yeah.
very different. You
Yes,
know,
but there's that common bond of love and
Yeah.
connection.
I'm just trying to think though, because I know some stories of people who like have really crappy siblings, and like I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know, if one of you murdered someone, would I still
Oh,
be
that's
like,
bad.
right?
Oh,
Like,
we wouldn't do
But I
that.
would still
no,
probably
you wouldn't, but
I
like I'm
but I
saying,
don't
people
know.
like,
Even if somebody did something really terrible, I'd probably find a way to like, be like, listen, I don't understand it and I don't understand why it happened, but I would probably go visit them in jail or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It's
And
like,
that's a really good point. I mean, there's a lot of different things that people have gone through that we
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
experienced.
right,
or
right,
And
like drug
right.
addiction or,
yeah,
Right.
like things like
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Or just,
So,
like you hear about people who go no contact with their parents. Like I could never imagine
Yeah.
that, but I also can't imagine like the hurt and the things that you must have gone through to get to that place in your life where like that's the healthy
The
choice for
better
you.
answer, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. I
Yeah.
mean, we're very fortunate in that way. We're very fortunate.
Well, and I do think that mom and dad can feel good about that with their legacy. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
created this. So
Well, and I
yeah.
don't know about for you guys, but for me, like I think mom just really struggled as an only child. And like
yeah.
that was her big thing was she
Mhm.
talks about like how
Yeah.
lonely she was and how much she disliked it and how that's just, I think her dream was to have a big family and
Well, it's interesting. She's done a lot of things like which I'm sure you do as a parent, right? But she's done so many things that like she disliked so much or that she didn't have when she was younger with raising us. Like, I think of swimming, right? She still can't swim, but she made sure that each of us had swimming lessons and that we knew how to swim because she didn't know how to swim.
the dentist.
The dentist,
Her mom
right?
was scared of the dentist,
Yeah,
but she made sure we all
yeah,
got in there.
yeah. I don't know. I just think she was very adamant about things that she experienced going to experience.
Yep. Yeah,
Thanks,
for sure.
mom, when you listen to
Shout out.
this.
Shout out.
All right. I'm going to move on to the next comment. This one's I'm calling it the survivor. And listen carefully to this because it's almost unbelievable to think of. I lost my husband with 2 young children and 5 years later, my mother. But in a 24-month period within that 5 years, I lost 22 people in various ways. So mortality is a big driver in life. So, with various health opportunities, also, my life is nothing like it was, and I have better peace, joy, and purpose in my life. Thanks for this topic. Desires are goals. And I think that came from our January
Yeah.
podcast where we were
Yeah.
talking about goal setting. But I mean, that's pretty monumental to think of losing 22 people in your life in a 24-month period. That is crazy. But
Yeah.
what really stood out to me was health opportunities and the way this person framed the challenges that perhaps they're having is opportunities. So, for those of you that have had some health scares, does that make sense to you or does that resonate with you?
That you're what? The last part of what she or he said?
Well, just
Uh,
reframing
It
instead of
shifts your
looking at it
perspective.
as challenges, as
mhm.
opportunities.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, what's that saying? Cancer's the crappiest club with the coolest people, and I think that just comes from, like, because it gives you it's a perspective you would wish on no one, but you would also
Mhm.
wish on everyone at the same time, you know?
Mm.
I'm
Yep.
sure the other 2 would agree with me. It's like, you don't want anyone to be going that's like the one thing nobody ever wants to hear, right? And
Right.
so
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think 100%. I mean, it just changes you. There's really no, and we all know loss changes you. We've all experienced that. I mean, you're never the same. So, absolutely. And I can't imagine losing that many people in such a
No.
short time frame either. It's
No, I can't either. That's
terrible.
something.
Well, and Katie, we just had that experience with you coming out here to Arizona when you turned to me and said, cancer has changed your perspective on life, and you went and did that zip line.
Oh,
With
that was
with
fun
a
to
little
watch.
with a little urging
That
on
was
my
good though.
part,
That was
But
but
you
fun to
did
watch.
it. But you did it.
How did you
YOLO.
feel when you were done, Kate?
on the zip line?
Yeah. Did you almost have like a euphoria of I did it?
No, I was like, that was not that it was stupid, but like I should not. It was not like scary.
Oh,
So
like
it
you
was
shouldn't have
more,
been so
yes,
scared.
yes, like it was totally okay. Um, yeah, it was more that, but
Well, did it make you wanna dip your toe in some other adventure in
I
some
mean, I think
capacity?
just in general, that when things present themselves that way, like, let's you only got one life, you got one shot, you never know when it's going to be done. Take those opportunities when you have them. And
And you
yeah, I
did it.
think like so many people, Kyle, talk about like cancer giving them the opportunity to reevaluate things and shift priorities in their life. And Carrie's right. Like it does. Like it changes everything. I think even amongst me and my husband, it's, like there are, even in the annoyances, I can recognize the little moments and I feel like I stop and like hold on to them a little bit tighter because you're like, I just want to like take this in. Because yeah, like, it's always in my head, like, what if
Yeah,
it comes back and this is it?
mhm. I
Yeah.
mean, this could be a whole episode as well, for
Yeah.
real, for real. Yeah.
I want to thank our listeners for sharing some of these things because it takes courage and it takes honesty. And the fact that you're being so vulnerable with us when you may not even really know us, we really appreciate. And we want to acknowledge that there's some grief out there for some of you, and we see you and we hear you. And now you're a part of our family here at the table, and we appreciate that. So, that's what this whole podcast is all about. And that's what we hope to do for people. And that's why we get on here and we talk about our lives and our experiences because we want to be able to share that with others and have them feel a sense of welcomeness and belonging. So don't want to forget to say that.
Kat,
Yep.
do you have any
Well
comment
said.
on how that's changed your life or how you do things differently or
I told you how I live my life now. In a few episodes. Fuck it. This is me. If you don't like it, tough shit. It's a good way to live.
It is a
Do
good
you
way to
feel
live.
a greater sense of peace and freedom now that you've adopted that attitude? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Well, yeah, like things don't bug me anymore. I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
and that came out of what? That came from what? Do you
Stage
think?
3 Klingon.
Puppy.
Well, I've kind of a little bit of that has been in me my whole life, but
I don't feel like that's a total
Maybe it's
shift, but it
magnified.
just,
yeah,
yeah.
it definitely magnified it. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
I
That
just
that
don't let things
makes
get to me anymore. I'm just like,
and
now
because you're like it's just not worth the stress anymore. It's not like what's the
I don't know. I
what's
just like I don't judge people anymore. I'm like, you do you, and I'm gonna do myself. And
I just feel like, they always say when you're laying on your deathbed and you think, like, is this really going to matter when I'm like, is this something I'm going to care about? Like, there's so few things I'm actually going to care about when actually faced with my own
Mhm.
mortality that, like,
I have
Well,
to
think
say,
about it.
I'm a lot less materialistic. Do you guys find it that way? Like, if I'm shopping and I'm like, I really don't need those clothes. I got plenty of clothes. I don't need more clothes. I don't need a
Yeah.
purse. I don't need this. You can't take it with you.
I was gonna say only because, yeah, I'm like, at some point, like, you got to get rid of all that shit.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to
Like,
clean it out.
exactly.
So yeah, if
Like,
I do go, somebody's gonna get in
right.
my
That's
closet and be
that's
like, "God
honestly
damn,
what I
she's got a lot of shoes."
that's what I think about is like,
That's
yeah.
why I give my stuff away a lot, right? It's just so you don't do that.
Anymore, I'm thinking, man, when I
Honest to
clean out my
God.
winter clothes, I'm just gonna be like, three decent outfits. Well, maybe because I work from home now too, so I don't have to wear as much stuff. But
Yeah.
T-shirt.
yeah, I
Well,
mean,
the
even when we're
whole
shopping,
dynamic of clothes and culture is so,
It
I
is
mean, come
different,
on.
I feel like. It's
I,
different.
I just need to throw things out, not throw them out, but give them away because who's going to wear that again, right? I have like 7 great winter sweaters, right? I probably wear 1, right? Get rid of the
Mhm.
other 6. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
we could do another episode on overconsumption for sure.
Oh yeah,
For
Yeah.
sure.
100% for sure.
We should take the no, never mind.
Don't
I was
even
gonna
get me started on like throw pillows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
we
whole
could do a
nother-
lot.
that's a
I
whole
saw
nother
all of
episode.
Kim's pillows in
Stop.
her basement that she has
Stop.
stored.
I will tell you though, I mean, but I think that goes like, I do think it goes to the flip side, at least I've seen in me before, where you also can justify spending things because you're like, fuck it, I might not be alive tomorrow. I'm going to do this,
Well, if I do
And
that, I'm going to
so
go on a
it
trip,
could go either way.
or I'm going to buy a car.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah,
do
for
something
sure.
fun. I don't care about clothes or like shit around
I
my
give
house
my
anymore.
kids my throw pillows, just to be clear.
She's still on the throw pillow.
They're getting used.
That's good. You recycled them.
They're
That's
getting
right,
used.
recycling.
Reduce,
Uh,
reuse, recycle.
Yeah, because Carrie showed me
Okay.
those landfill pictures, and I can't get past them now.
Oh, don't watch. There's a documentary on a certain streaming station that talks about plastics, and it's just like
Yeah,
disgusting. Yeah.
Mhm.
can't watch that. Can't watch that.
But anyhow. All right. Our next comment comes from a listener who we happen to, I guess I did for a little bit, but she went to the same college that a couple of us went to. And she said, I had the pleasure of spending a weekend with your family during the Heidelberg years with Kim and Chris. I can relate to the caregiver role with both of my parents who have passed. It's one of the hardest things that we had to go through. First of all, I don't know, for me, when I talk about Heidelberg and just kind of the little history our family has with Heidelberg for our viewers and listeners, our dad went to Heidelberg for a number of years, and then Kim, Chris, myself, my brother, my niece Courtney went to Heidelberg. Oh, Kim's husband Lou, my husband Mike went to Heidelberg. So we have quite a connection to Heidelberg. But one of the things that I think is interesting about it is it's a very small liberal arts college. So it's very family oriented, which kind of fits what we all, I think, are about. And this person who shared the comment felt that bond just from spending a little Sibs weekend with us at Heidelberg. So
Those little
Caregiving.
weekends were the best.
They were
they
fun.
got me to go to Heidelberg with Sibs weekend.
Yeah, they were
Those
fun.
were fun.
They
Those
were
were
very fun.
Yes. But caregiving, and especially caregiving of parents, is quite a lot of work. And Sister Kim can speak to this more than all of us because she shared her home with our parents. But we've all taken a role somewhere at some point in helping to take care of our parents. And it's definitely, it can be very isolating. And I think for me, I would say I feel like Kim has carried the burden of all of that. But like I said, we do jump in and try to help her as much as we can. But reality is, it's not the same as living with them. And so, Kim, Lou, and your whole family, thank you for that. It's a lot.
It's definitely, it's got its ups and its downs.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they helped us a lot when our kids were in middle school and high school and they moved in with us. And, that was awesome for us because not only did my kids learn how to live, with them and more about them, but, they watched our kids when we weren't here and they made sure dinner was on the table and, all that sort of stuff while I was working for sure, until dad got sick. So it was, we got from them as well, which is nice.
I think the older I get, the more I realize what a gift it is to be able to keep your parents with you instead
For
of
sure.
having to put them somewhere. Not that that's not a viable alternative for many people because it is, but
Yeah.
I just feel very lucky that we have not had to make that decision yet
Mhm.
and that we've been able to handle it within our family.
Well, if
Yeah,
you look
because
at
there are definitely some things that you just can't handle at home.
Right.
There are some folks that have really severe dementia
Sure.
and things like
Yeah.
that
Right.
that you just can't.
I was just gonna say, like, in certain cultures, right? You look at cultures outside of the United
Yeah,
States, and these families stay together. They don't, it's not like the
right.
whole, "Oh, your parents get older," and, I mean, they find value from aging, and they stay in the house together, and that's the norm in certain places. So it's just interesting, like,
It is.
you know,
It is
how it's
interesting.
different here.
Yeah.
I don't
Kim, do
know.
We
you
could
ever
change that.
view it like I know you said there were pros and cons, but like, even for me, there's a part of me that it sort of sucked to be in the part of life that I was in as dad was getting older and sicker because I didn't have time and capacity to be there as much as I probably wanted to be because I had my own young kids and like, was having babies and things like that. Like in retrospect, and I think like what you said, just that to spend that time with them and like, yeah, I think you just get this whole different perspective. And yeah, like like it sucked. It sucked going through it. It sucked in those moments. But then when you sit back and look at it, are you like, wow, like that was I'm grateful that I had that time or was able to do that, type thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, for sure. When they were, both younger and healthier, I can see the influence on my kids big time. And that's invaluable, right? And, as dad got sicker, I the people at hospice tell us all the time, like he would have never lived this long if he wasn't with you guys and collectively all of us, right? Because we really, we tag teamed a lot of stuff. And
Hmm.
she said to me multiple times, a lot of families don't have the ability to do that. And it makes a big difference in people's lives. So,
And
yeah.
it's one of the things I think about because it's the benefit of there being so many of us. And even like for
Hmm.
my own family, I'm like, God, like, God
Yeah.
willing, if I live to be old, it's my two kids who get to like figure it out amongst themselves. Like they don't have seven of them.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Because even things like, pooling our money to get in-home help, like the
Yeah,
more of you that you have,
because
the
that's
less
so expensive.
burdensome it is
Right,
So
right.
for
For
expensive.
sure.
people.
Yeah.
I just it really yeah, having so many of us also made it easier. Even
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Chris and Bill, you guys are, aren't local, aren't here, but in that capacity, you can still were able to contribute.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say when you're talking about that, like, I agree with you, like, you do the best that you can do and physical distance, like, you know, I think I said to myself, no matter what happens or when it happens, I'm gonna be there as much as I can because to your point, Katie, when it's gone, it's gone. I and that's what I wondered too, Kim, because I had said the same thing to Kelly when mom was there with her these past couple of months. Like, I guess I was just having the recognition of, are you valuing the one-on-one time that you're getting with someone because like it will be gone.
Mhm.
And to be able to recognize it in the moment and be able to appreciate what you're doing I think is the greatest gift of having that time together. And I guess to Katie's point of asking you that question, Kim, I'm as crappy and as like it was hard. And like you said, Kim, like we had all this that extra time with him. And at
Yeah.
the end it was hard. I remember you saying, "Oh my gosh, like I just want him to stop suffering." And
Yeah.
you still had that time and connection, I guess.
Mhm. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind when I read things, and I've read it a lot lately, on Facebook or in articles or whatever, right? When people say, "Well, your parents aren't your responsibility, they're their own responsibility." And I'm like, "Who thinks that way?" And not to say there's a difference between responsibility and obligation and a desire to do things, right? And that whole conversation just blows my mind. It's like, for crying out loud. But I guess it goes back to everything we talked about before, right? You can have families that aren't connected, but I just can't imagine thinking, well, I don't have to worry about taking care of this. That's their problem. I just can't even fathom that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, like, we're just very blessed in the fact that we have the resources, like,
Yeah, for
like
sure. Yes, yes,
Kim, I
yes,
feel
yes.
like Kelly eventually retired, which helped, like, when people have to be at work and they can't
Oh,
be around,
yeah.
and so I'm just very thankful, and it's not lost on me that, like, not everyone can do that.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, where you're at in life definitely impacts your ability to be able to caretake for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got jobs and it's such a little kids and trying to make those trade-offs, it's awful. It's awful. I can't even
Yep.
imagine it. Yeah.
And there are people out there doing that. Again, to our listeners and our viewers, we hear you. We are with you. Hey, if you need a family, you can always pull up to our table. Okay, last heavier one, and then we'll end with a light one.
Okay.
This one is, I call it Katie's Fighter. It says, even though we never met personally, I connected with Katie through her relative Debbie and online during her family's COVID loss and have followed her through her cancer journey. She is one strong woman. Kate, what do you think when you hear that?
Hmm. I feel like, the whole strong, you're a fighter, like, you don't have a choice, like, very lovely. Thank you so much for the recognition of, like, things that I don't, identify with that in myself because it's just sort of like, this is the hand that you're dealt, and, like, you're just gotta do it.
Do you recognize, though, even though you feel like, hey, I just do what I got to do you recognize that this is a person you don't even know who you're having an impact on through sharing your story and maybe helping them to find some strength that maybe they don't have that's quite the same as yours?
I don't. And, now that you're saying that, I feel like I've had other people say to me, like, "Oh," I think of my friend Jenny, who was like, "Yeah, I have someone who, like, follows your story when you post and is always, like, checking in on you," and, like, yeah, I don't even know them. I probably don't sit and reflect on it like I should. Me sharing my story and my trials and tribulations, is therapeutic for me, and yeah, if it helps someone, like, that's what, like, clearly other people go through these things too. I don't know.
Don't discount, though, how much you might inspire someone.
No.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the beauty of a digital community like this is when you don't maybe have sisters around for support or whatever the case may be, and you find someone that you connect with, that's a gift. I mean, that's a gift. So kudos to you for being vulnerable and to the listener for saying how much you've helped them.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't go into it to be inspiring. Like, when you share your story, is it to, like, like, I don't feel like that's why. I don't know.
I do like people to know God, because when you're going through the thick of it, it is such a it's so lonely. It's the worst. And I like people to know that it doesn't always get better. It depends on your situation, right? But I like to let people know that, like, yeah, it's gonna be hard, but it will get better because it can get so bad when you're in it.
Well, I feel like especially for you, because you were the first, like, at least by the time I went through yeah, but, like, I had the 2 of you who had sort of gone through this,
But even, like, we had such different experiences, I feel like. That's the crazy thing about cancer too, is, like, it's not even, like, it all depends, right? It's so weird, it's so different. Um, but yeah, I think that, I don't know. I think that when I was in the thick of it, it was nice to, like, hear and see inspirational things, and so I do like to pay it forward and let people know, like, you can still exercise, and exercise is so good for you. It's, like, a great thing to do. Not overdo it, of course, but, like, and the better shape you're in going in, the better it is, all that, so, um, and feel your boobies.
Yeah, and I think it's hard, right? Because often you don't really get the opportunity to even reflect until you're really, really way out, you know? So you don't realize in the moment or shortly thereafter what you've done and potentially who you might have inspired because you're just trying to get through it.
Well, and I guess to your point, Kim, that and I don't once you're to another place, I'll put it that way. Once you're to another place and you can catch your breath, to Kim's point, then maybe there'll be times and pieces of that, Katie, that you'll be able to take in that says, hey, wow, okay, somebody saw me and saw my story and saw something inspiring in it. What a gift that I can be that to them. Even though that wasn't my goal, I have been able to inspire somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, I just always feel like, I remember when Carrie was diagnosed and they hooked her up with her person, because it's true, like, I feel like sometimes if you're going through a cancer treatment or, process that, like, it's nice to have your family support and all that, but sometimes you need people who aren't those people to talk
Mhm.
to. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, like, I think for me more, like, putting my stories out there and, like, I always, people always come to you, like, now I have this friend who was diagnosed and, ask you questions and what do you recommend and that sort of stuff that just, like, if there's some random person out there who saw something in my story and one day it's like, I need to talk to someone who, like, gets this. I would always love to be that person for someone. Like, even me, I remember, like, a year out, I texted the girl, little plug, there's a local nonprofit here in Cleveland called Pink Lights the Way, who was very supportive during my journey. But she had young children when she was diagnosed, like, so her and I kept in touch the whole time when I was in active treatment. And, like, a year out, I sent her some text of, like, I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember if it was, like, still trying to balance everything or, like, getting back to where I don't know what it was, but it was just a random thing a year later that, like, only someone else who would get going through it would understand. That's more why I put my stuff out there, because, like, if you ever need that person that you're like, "You know who would get this? This girl would get this.
Yeah.
Hit me
For
up.
sure. For
I'll
sure.
commiserate with anyone."
Well, and I think what you're
Right.
sharing is
Good.
exactly maybe what this listener or viewer felt just by hearing you.
Yeah.
They could resonate with you. So you did that for somebody else,
Yeah.
is how I hear that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
All right. Well, we are going to end with a final comment here, which I saved this one for the end because um, I think it kind of encompasses what our whole goal is by doing our podcast. It says, so inspiring, so real, and so needed. Conversations that uplift the soul, expand the mind, and remind us what's possible when people share their truth with heart and courage. What a gift. And again, I think when we started this, we didn't know what to expect. We were just kind of doing this to, see what it was like. Let's get our feet wet. Oh, this could be fun. But it is resonating with people. And, you know,
What do you guys think at this point in? We've done what, 6 episodes now?
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, I think so.
At this point in with our episodes, do you feel like, I don't know, what are you getting out of it? I guess is what I would ask you right now. 6
I'm
episodes
learning
in.
a lot about my sisters
Mhm,
that I
mhm.
didn't
Mhm.
necessarily know. So I think that's interesting.
I think it's fun, and I love to listen to my kids talk about it because they're
Yes,
learning about us too, you know?
yes, it's actually quite humorous.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I almost feel like it's like a living diary. Like, I feel like my mind
Oh,
is so
wow.
morbid, but I'm always thinking about dying now. So I'm
It's
like,
fair. I mean,
but
that's fair,
yeah,
Katie.
I do. But I'm like, at least like God forbid if something were to happen to me, like my kids will like this will live in infamy. And there's video and there's sound and you have someone's voice, like I think about like when I find random videos of dad and just like to hear that stuff.
Mhm,
Like once people
mhm,
are gone, it's nice to
mhm.
have that. So
Yeah.
if nothing else, if people listen to it and are enjoying it and hang out with us, that is fabulous and love that. But if nothing else, even if no one listened, I feel like it's nice to have all this documented.
I agree. Well, and it's interesting you said something that I think is like, I mean, for anybody listening, like take the picture and take the video and get over how you think you look and all that other crap because it's like, I don't know, those types of things are just so like when somebody's gone, it's like the best thing to have a video or to hear their voice or any of that kind of stuff. Um, I don't know. I think it's fun. I'm having fun minus our technical issues. But I mean, I think we're still new. I think we're still learning and exploring and, have no
Yeah.
idea where this could go. But um yeah, I mean, if people are listening and getting something out of it, that's great.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
having fun too. Absolutely having fun. Because I live far away that for me to look forward to this time of getting together and having this connection time and there's things and conversations that we've had that I love because we would never have the time to be able to sit down and talk like this and just discovering new things about one another or hearing new things or for me the caretaker of the family, watching you as quite capable grown up adults who are doing so wonderfully. It's like,
Yeah.
wow. Like when my little sister came out to visit me, I was like, wow, dang, she's a parent, an adult. She takes care of kids. I'm like, woo. So I just really appreciate this time that we spend together and as everyone else has said, if we can have some type of impact or inspiration to someone, then I why not share that?
It's
For
our
sure.
version of being forced to the dinner table.
Oh, come on, that's
Do you
fun.
really feel forced?
No, but like it's that
Yeah.
obligation to show up to
Right.
sit and talk
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah. I think it's fun.
Kath,
Yeah.
you got anything to
Definitely.
say? Kath?
Quiet bunny over
Look at
there.
she wears bunny ears. Come on, you
It's
know
the
she's having
Saturday before
fun.
Easter. That's why I have my bunny ears on.
I
I
know,
was
they're
kind of like, do I
cute.
look like a Playboy bunny?
Well, you need a different top.
Yeah.
I did not have
Or
that
What color?
that
vibe
they're
when I looked at you. No,
No?
I
You
didn't
Darn.
have
need
that
the
vibe,
what
no.
did they wear? The strapless, like, leotard or whatever?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And they have white ears, not pink.
Well,
Are they white?
that's all we had
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can move forward a little bit. Like,
I
that
think they're
how
cute.
funny that in, like, 20 years from now, people are gonna be like, "What was a Playboy bunny?" You know? I don't know.
Do
I think
people
it's
even know what it is now?
well, and just, like, ho I feel like it's a little, like, taboo now,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
for
I
sure.
just don't feel like it aged well, that's all.
Yeah.
Do they even make magazines like that anymore?
I don't know.
Well, neither do
No,
I. That's
because
why I'm asking.
everybody's scrolling the internet for
Well,
their,
that's true.
content.
They get
I
live
think
action.
Hooters
Yeah.
is having to come back though. I
Who's?
heard they were opening more Hooters, so I don't know.
Oh.
Playboy, Hooters, it's kind of a similar thing, right?
That actually surprises me because I feel like society has shifted so far away
I
from.
know. I
Now,
know.
why would you work at Hooters when you could just take pictures of your feet and make money?
OnlyFans.
That.
I don't know.
So
I don't
bizarre.
know.
I know it's
It is.
bizarre, but like, I don't know. There's apparently a market for it. So I have this girlfriend who has really nice feet, and I'm like, you should totally be like a foot, start your own foot page and just have a
What about
picture.
like the people who like dirty underwear?
Now, like people will like pay money.
Katie,
Yeah,
where
you
are
send
you
them their dirty
going?
underwear.
I'm just saying this exists. Like there
Why
are
does
people
that-
out there who
Thinking
like
Alright.
about that like creates this response in me that like literally makes my whole body just like
are
This
dirty
is a small
socks.
glimpse into a dinner time conversation and how quickly it can go south.
farts in a
Yes,
jar.
we
Farts
have
in a
gone
jar.
south.
Somebody
Farts
sold
in a
farts in a
jar.
jar.
Our best
Okay.
table talk was after Frank's funeral when we talked about toilet paper. Do you guys remember that?
Yes. Is it
Was that after his
upside down?
funeral? We
Do
had
you
that
fold up
conversation.
or do you
Do
fold
you
down?
wad? Do you fold?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Do you
You
or
reach
stand
back.
to wipe? Yeah.
Does it come up?
I
Does it
hope
go
you reach
down?
back. God.
It was
Okay,
a lot
Cal,
of
take
conversation.
control. Wrap this thing up.
All right. So, to our viewers and our listeners, we just want you to keep your comments coming, please. Tell us your stories, argue with us, cry with us. You're not just listening or viewing, you are definitely part of the family. So, keep it coming because we appreciate you.
And let us know if you're getting rich off of selling dirty underwear.
Oh my God. No.
Well, lately,
I don't want to
just-
know this.
I don't know. I just don't
Okay,
know.
I
I'm
do.
leaving. Thanks for hanging with the sisters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the love because every story sounds better on 6Ks and a mic.